This is QTV Nightly News. I'm Amudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. Here are tonight's news headlines. President Adama Barrow today presided over the launching of the Gambia Madrasa Integration Strategy Games, which seeks to bring into mainstream those currently undergoing Arabic language-based education. The Gambia's Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs and partners today officially validated the country's first ever national land policy. On Monday, Gambian pilgrims performed the Hajj Tawaf in Mecca, marking the conclusion of the 2025 Hajj. The University of the Gambia's School of Business and Public Administration, with support from Qatar University on Monday, commenced a 5-day curriculum transformation training. And in international news, today, Tuesday, 10th June, the United Nations marks a historic day with the commemoration of the first ever International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations. This followed a proposal put forward by China. Those are the headlines, now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. President Adama Barrow on Tuesday presided over the launching of the Gambia Madrasa Integration Strategy Games 2025 to 2029 at the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center on Tuesday. I attended and this is my report. After many years and countless discussions about having an all-inclusive education strategy which benefits all, the Madrasa Education Strategy 2025 to 2029 will merge the curriculum in the Madrasa senior secondary schools, where much of the instructions are in Arabic, with the conventional English-led education system. This will give students attending madrasas the opportunity to learn English, mathematics and science subjects. The aim is to ensure madrasa students obtain the required skill sets, which can create employment for them in diverse areas of the economy, including through STEM or TVET. President Barrow, in his launching statement, describes it as a key milestone for education.
Today, we are acknowledging their historical contribution and charting a future where these institutions will be fully integrated into the country's national education architecture. The moment, therefore, is not only a policy milestone, but also a powerful statement of our collective commitment to equity, inclusion, and transformation of the Gambia's education system.
Madrasas are historical and important in the teaching of religious and moral values. A survey conducted in 2024 shows that about 20% of school-going children in the country are in the madrasas. Despite their crucial role in educating society, madrasa students face barriers in accessing conventional higher education and career development opportunities in comparison with those who went through English-based education system. Alhaji Usman Jah, a representative of the Islamic Education Secretariat, Amana, says this new strategy will transform madrasa education in the country.
For many years, children in madrasa have been learning Islamic and human sciences, but they have not had the same support or opportunities as those in regular schools. This strategy is here to change that scenario.
In the course of developing this strategy, a survey team visited madrasa senior secondary schools across all 6 education regions of the country, interviewed 955 students, and organized 12 focus group discussions. This approach allowed them to collect data which provided useful insights into understanding key challenges and aspirations of targeted stakeholders. Franklin Mutahakana spoke on behalf of the World Bank, funders of the Madrasa Integration Strategy.
As the Gambia moves to implement its national skills development strategy and expand opportunities for youth, this work on madrasa integration is both timely and strategic.
Here are Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, a long-time advocate of this strategy, and Mohammed Hassan Loom, the consultant for the Madrasa integration strategy.
This strategy gives them that opportunities. Now, higher education will now integrate them, now come up with some strategies that will help them. Number one. Number two, also to see how to integrate TVET.
We took it for granted, but when we went into the field, we saw the realities on the ground.
It is intended that once this strategy becomes embedded, it will massively transform the education sector and ensure that those attending madrasas will no longer face challenges relating to limited career options for graduates, and so enable them to fully contribute to national development. Umudu Gajaga, QTV News. The Gambia's Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs and partners officially validated the country's first national land policy on Tuesday at the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center in Bijilo. This marks a significant steps towards sustainable land governance. Loli M. Kamara attended the opening and filed this report.
We regularly hear of land disputes in almost every part of the Gambia, much of this due to lax land ownership and land tenure laws. To address this new policy framework represents a shift in the Gambia's land administration and aims to enhance tenure security and development. The event was presided over by the Lands Minister, Ahmad Nkeba, and attended by cabinet ministers, various stakeholders, including government officials and civil society representatives. Supported by the World Bank and the West Africa Coastal Areas Management Program, WACA, the National Land Policy seeks to address land ownership disputes, unclear tenure systems, and inequitable access to land. Professor Ochundu Chigbo, the project's international consultant, urged stakeholders to actively participate in the implementation of the framework.
A land policy cannot be operationalized without capacity. There has to be an element of capacity development and capacity building, because at the end, the land policy is only a document if we do not have the right people to operationalize that. Dr.
Muhammad Lamin Sanyang, project coordinator with the WACA program, and Camille Roger, a senior land administration specialist with the World Bank Group, respectively, both highlighted the strategic value of the policy document.
For the first time in our history, the Gambia now has a unified forward-looking framework to land use, ownership, management, and stewardship. One that reflects our national values, our socio-economic realities, and our shared aspirations for the future.
Change, the transformation of the sector starts with a very good land policy, So it's really a privilege to be here, because this could become the beginning of a journey to help you reform your land sector. And it's very, very important, and we want to commend the government for that.
In his address, Minister Ahmad Nkeba emphasized the urgent need to address land management challenges given the country's small size and growing population.
The laws must be fully implemented, and we call on the judiciary to reinforce the issue of title ownership of people. You have your document done somewhere at the Office of Physical Planning or Lands at the Ministry with nobody looking at your file because there is one letter missing. They will not even call you to say bring the letter or do that. They will dump your file there. Only to find your file lost, you have to go and get another file. Sometimes you get 3 files before you get your lease. This policy will address that. We are digitalizing it to make sure you get your title on time, to make sure you know the benefit of your land.
Abdul Ture, the project's national lead coordinator, outlined the formulation process and the next steps for the land policy.
One of the first activities planned before the end of the year is to organize a donor roundtable to mobilize resources for the implementation. Implementation is slated to begin in January 2026.
This 10-year roadmap, 2026-2035, aims to create a transparent and equitable approach to land governance, promising greater tenure security and better livelihoods for Gambians, while at the same time facilitating peaceful dispute resolution. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
On Monday, Gambian pilgrims performed the Hajj Tawaf in Mecca, marking the conclusion of the 2025 Hajj. Babukar Sise is with 12 on Travel and Tours, and he filed this report.
Tawaful Ifada is a key ritual of Hajj required of all pilgrims. It is performed after the initial stoning of Shaitan at the Jamarat or upon completing the 3 days of stoning. On Sunday morning, Gambian pilgrims left Mina and returned to Makkah to carry out this important rite on Monday morning, circling the Kaaba 7 times in what marks the final formal act of the pilgrimage. This glass dome, encased in a golden frame, is known as Maqam Ibrahim. It houses the footprints of Prophet Ibrahim, who constructed the Kaaba. After completing the Tawaf, pilgrims typically face Maqam Ibrahim to perform 2 rakas of prayer. From Maqam Ibrahim near the Kaaba, pilgrims proceed to the area between the hills of Safa and Marwa, where they walk and run between the 2 hills 7 times. Throughout this ritual, they often refresh themselves with the miraculously provided Zamzam water. Bakari Sise has just completed Tawaful Ifada, marking the conclusion of his Hajj pilgrimage. We left Mina and traveled to Makkah to perform our final Tawaf. We circled the Kaaba 7 times and then continued to Safa and Marwa. By the grace and help of Allah, we experienced no difficulties during the Hajj. May Allah accept our pilgrimage. Serimor Jamasi is a Hajj expert and a leading figure with Tiwaawan Travel and Tours, guiding pilgrims through the spiritual aspects of the pilgrimage. We thank the pilgrims who choose to travel with Tiwaawan Travel and Tours. By following our guidance, they greatly contributed to the smooth and successful coordination of the Hajj pilgrimage. We also extend our gratitude to QTV for broadcasting the Hajj under the leadership of Mohammed Jah. A final prayer session at Safa and Marwa marks the conclusion of the 2025 Hajj for pilgrims. However, similar to their stay in Medina, Gambian pilgrims will take the opportunity to visit several historic and religious sites in and around the holy city of Mecca. Before their departure, they will return to the Kaaba one last time to perform Tawaful Wida, the farewell Tawaf. This final act symbolizes the pilgrims' departure from Mecca, as they do not visit the Kaaba again until they leave the country. Babukar Sise, QTV News, Makkatul Mukarrama.
We will now go for a commercial break, and when we return, we hear about a gathering of health experts from across the region to discuss improved biomedical waste management. We also hear about the commemoration of the first ever International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations. Do stay tuned, and many stories would come your way.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, Gambia's trusted network.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected. Juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. The University of the Gambia School of Business and Public Administration, with support from Qatar University, on Monday commenced 5 days curriculum transformation training. As we hear in this report by Ansumana Esonyasi, the aim is to realign the university's curriculum with national economic growth objectives.
Headed by the Qatar University School of Business Management, in collaboration with the University of the Gambia School of Business and Public Administration, this curriculum transformation drive is part of a series of programs under the Africa Project, supported by the Qatar Fund for Development. One of those leading this ambitious project that seeks to produce the next generation of business leaders and job creators through sustainable business endeavors is Habib Mahama, a renowned scholar in curriculum development and educational reform, a professor of accounting at Qatar University, and the lead facilitator of this highly intellectual discourse supported by the Qatar University's Africa Education Development Project. He tells us why they need to transform the UTG Business School's current program.
We have significant number of graduate unemployment. The question is, why are they unemployed? And then we also look at over-dependence on the public sector, where almost every graduate coming out is looking up to the government to employ him or her. This is not the situation in the West. And the engine of growth for African countries is not necessarily the public sector, it is the private sector.
For Professor Herbert Robinson, Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, this is perhaps one of the most important reforms currently taking place at the university. It recognizes the need to integrate sustainable development concepts in higher education for sustainable national development, especially in tackling unemployment and strengthening economic growth.
The whole idea is to transform business education in Africa, because it is businesses that drive growth in our context, and we are faced with challenges such as high level of youth unemployment. And in order to do that, we are recognizing that the business school has a transformative role.
Furthermore, Professor Robinson shares his expectations of the outcome of the workshop, the impact its outcome is expected to have on the university's School of Business program and the country's economic advancement drive in the near future. Dr. Jibril Baji, head of the Department of Management Sciences at the School of Business and Public Administration, and Aja Fatou Senghor, a lecturer at the University of the Gambia, are among several business and public administration, curriculum development and researchers participating in the curriculum transformation workshop. They also shared their expectations with us.
So one thing about this workshop is very important, because UTG, as the oldest university in the Gambia, we need visibility and recognition. So this curriculum transformation is an opportunity for us as a business school to be the lead in transforming the Gambia to UTG.
My expectation from this training is to enhance my capacity when it comes to structuring my course modules, deliver quality service to the students, and of course look forward to having our programs being accredited by international accreditation centers, which will also position the university better among its competitors locally and internationally.
Once fully implemented, a transformed university business school curriculum is expected to foster a skilled, innovative and entrepreneurial workforce that will spur productivity, job creation and economic diversification. The University of the Gambia hopes to contribute significantly to the country's sustainable development by aligning education with the needs of the modern economy. Ansumana Esonyasi for QTV News.
Hosted by the Ministry of Health at a local residence, health experts from 6 West African countries on Tuesday kicked off a 3-day workshop to discuss and address the issue of biomedical waste management across the region. Mam Nabuka attended the opening ceremony and she now reports.
The initiative is part of the post-COVID project funded by the African Development Bank and implemented by the West African Health Organization WAHO to tackle biomedical waste management as part of the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic severely impacted Africa's healthcare systems and also exposed long-standing gaps in these systems, none more urgent than the challenge of biomedical waste management. From discarded masks to used test kits and contaminated syringes, the pandemic generated unprecedented volumes of hazardous waste, endangering healthcare workers, communities, and the environment. To curb the problem, this capacity-building workshop aims to equip national teams from the Gambia, Senegal, Mali, Nigeria, Benin, and Togo with the tools, knowledge and collaborative frameworks needed to improve and institutionalize safe, sustainable and efficient biomedical waste management practices across the West African region. Here is Miata Lily French, the resident representative of ECOWAS in the Gambia.
Biomedical waste must no longer be treated as a peripheral issue. It must be mainstreamed into our national health policies, supported by strong legislation, sustainable financing, skilled personnel, and robust infrastructure. This is how we ensure that our hospitals remain places of healing and not sources of contamination. On behalf of ECOWAS, I encourage all participants to engage openly, share experiences candidly, and co-create practical solutions that will serve our region today and for years to come.
Dr. Momodu Nyasi, the Gambia's Director of Health Services, sheds light on some of the things that will be addressed throughout the workshop.
We will engage in meaningful discussions on various aspects of biomedical waste management, including regulatory frameworks, waste segregations, safe disposal methods, and training programs for healthcare workers. By enhancing our understanding and our capacity in these areas, we can develop strategies that not only comply with existing regulations, but also promote sustainability and resilience in our health system.
Dr. Izu Edesiri, a participant from the Federal Ministry of Health in Nigeria, shares the outcomes he hopes to achieve by the end of the 3-day sessions.
I expect that my knowledge of waste management will improve, including the newest developments that we also learn from other countries, how they manage their waste and how they dispose and everything involved. And we also hope to replicate the same in our place to make a safer, healthier environment for Nigeria in particular and West Africa in general.
The outcomes of this workshop are expected to have a significant impact on public health policies and environmental sustainability in West Africa, paving the way for safer healthcare practices and a cleaner environment for future generations. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
From that report by Mam Nabuka, coming up next is international news. On Tuesday, June 10th, the United Nations marked a historic day with the commemoration of the first ever International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations. The day is dedicated to encouraging cultural exchange, respect, and cooperation in addressing today's global challenges. Osman Jatta reports.
As the world faces conflict, climate change, and growing mistrust, global leaders say dialogue is more important than ever. On June 7, 2024, the UN General Assembly adopted Resolution A, Res 78-286, introduced by China and backed by over 80 countries. It officially declares June the 10th as the International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations. The message, every civilization, old and new, contributes to the shared human heritage, and dialogue helps us shape a peaceful future. At the UN headquarters, China's UN Ambassador Fu Kong spoke about the importance of this initiative.
Dialogue among civilizations is an effective means and a route one must take to eliminate discrimination and prejudice, enhance understanding and trust, promote people-to-people connectivity, and strengthen solidarity and cooperation. UNGA delivers a positive signal in advocating dialogue among civilizations, pushing cultural exchange and mutual learning at this point is of special significance.
The resolution emphasizes that all civilizational achievements constitute the collective heritage of humankind. It underscores the importance of respecting civilizational diversity and highlights the crucial role of dialogue in maintaining global peace, advancing shared development. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres believes that cultural diversity should be a source of peace, not division.
In our fractured world, dialogue is not optional. It is essential for building bridges of understanding and trust. So too is the work of the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations, reinforced by the global platform for dialogue that it has created over the past 2 decades. The International Day is a call to action, to listen, to speak, to connect. Let's answer hate with humanity. Let's listen with open hearts and open minds. Let's choose dialogue over division, and let us strive to be one human family.
China has taken the lead in proposing key resolutions at the UN General Assembly, including the resolution on promoting international cooperation on peaceful uses in the context of international security. These actions reflect China's innovative approach to multilateral diplomacy and its growing role in shaping the international agenda, setting priorities and contributing to rule-making in various domains. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi highlighted the significance of dialogue. Dialogue among civilizations is a bridge of friendship. History proves eloquently that openness enhances mutual understanding and exchange deepens mutual trust. This annual observance will now serve as a reminder that diversity is not a threat but a strength. In a world that often feels divided, dialogue can light the path towards peace. Osman Jatta, reporting for QTV News.
From that report by Usman Jatta, now let's have a look at our top stories. President Adama Barrow today presided over the launching of the Gambia Madrasa Integration Strategy Games, which seeks to bring into the mainstream those currently undergoing Arabic language-based education. The Gambia's Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs and partners today officially validated the country's first ever national land policy. On Monday, Gambian pilgrims performed the Hajj Tawaf in Mecca, marking the conclusion of the 2025 Hajj. The University of the Gambia School of Business and Public Administration, with support from Qatar University, on Monday commenced 5 days curriculum transformation training. And in international news, today, Tuesday, June 10th, the United Nations marked a historic day with the commemoration of the first ever International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations. This followed a proposal put forward by China. That's all we have for you in this bulletin of the news. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10 for another bulletin.